Today, we're checking out 10 incredible Nintendo Switch games that are on sale right now. Everything from high-speed chaos and tactical fantasy to deep storytelling and relaxing adventures. Whether you're after something fast-paced, story-driven, nostalgic, or beautifully strange, there's a deal here waiting for you. So grab your wallet, make a coffee, and let's jump into some great sales on the Nintendo eShop this week. Kicking off with Cyberpunk 2077, a sprawling open-world action RPG that drops you into the neon chaos of Night City, a futuristic metropolis where every decision shapes your path. You play as V, a mercenary chasing one big score in a world obsessed with body mods and corporate power. It's a mix of first-person action, deep storytelling, and immersive exploration that rewards curiosity. The Switch port is surprisingly solid, stable enough to keep the experience intact while letting you explore from anywhere. It's really quite surreal to see this much world density running handheld, but it works. The city feels alive with chatter, lights, and ambient chaos that pulls you in. The menus can be a little clunky in the portable mode, yet the sense of scale makes up for it. It's one of those games where you just lose hour after hour, a full console world, now literally in your hands, and it's unbelievable. This is only available on Switch 2, but please, if you have yet to play it, do so now, you won't regret it. It's currently on sale for £34.49 or your regional equivalent, a 43% discount, and this sale ends on November 2nd in the UK and Europe, and November 1st in the US and Canada. Now, if that was a bit too futuristic for you, let's turn back the clock with something retro and brutally addictive. Hotline Miami is a high-octane, top-down action game that feels like playing a fever dream. It's fast, twitchy, and incredibly stylish, a mix of 1980s neon violence and hypnotic rhythm. You play as a masked killer, taking on cryptic missions, clearing rooms of enemies in seconds, all whilst a pounding synth soundtrack drives every move. Each death resets instantly, and that quick restart loop becomes weirdly addictive. You start chasing perfection, like solving a puzzle through chaos. The simplicity hides surprising depth, from story twists to how each weapon changes your approach. Every level teaches flow, precision, and patience with sheer speed. It's a short game, but it hits hard. Perfect for quick sessions or full night binges. Sure, the difficulty can feel brutal at first, but once you find that rhythm, the violence turns into chaotic fun, and you won't want to stop. And for £4.49 or your currency's equivalent, you have no reason to not partake. 80% off for over 15 hours of great times. Bargain. This sale ends on November 2nd in the UK and Europe, and November 1st in the US and Canada. Moving on from chaotic carnage to quiet precision, let's switch gears with something beautifully dark and reflective. Death's Door is an elegant action-adventure game that follows a small crow working as a soul reaper for a mysterious afterlife bureaucracy. It's a compact, Zelda-inspired journey with tight, timing-based combat and stunning environment design. Every area feels intentional, looping pathways, subtle puzzles, and shortcuts that reward exploration. The art style mixes moody tones with clean, minimalist beauty, and the soundtrack is haunting in the best way. What stands out most is its restraint. It never wastes time on filler or empty spaces. Instead, every enemy, boss, and collectible adds meaning. The combat feels deliberate. Every dodge, swing, and hit matters, but it's fair. You'll die, but you'll learn, and that rhythm becomes deeply satisfying. It's challenging without being punishing, emotional without being heavy-handed. Death's Door is proof that small-scale design can feel epic, and it's easily one of the best indies to grace the Switch, and also one of the cheapest. At just £4.49 or your regional equivalent, a 75% discount for one of the best games around. This sale ends on November 2nd in the UK and Europe, and November 1st in the US and Canada. Transitioning from a small crow to a monster hunter, it's time to talk about one of the Switch's biggest feats. The Witcher 3 Complete Edition is an open-world action RPG that set the gold standard for storytelling. You play as Geralt of Rivia, a gruff but charming monster hunter navigating political intrigue, personal quests, and dark folklore. The Complete Edition includes both expansions, offering over 150 hours of content. The writing and world building are unmatched, full of decisions that genuinely shape outcomes. What's crazy is how well it holds up on the Switch. Yes, the textures are softer, the text is small, and the load times are longer, but everything that makes The Witcher 3 iconic remains intact. Exploring a massive world like this in handheld mode feels magical, and whilst the Switch 2 has not yet had an update, the load times are better and the visuals are slightly crispier, but hopefully this is looked at in the future. But for £12.49 or your currency's equivalent, you'd be silly not to buy this. 75% off right now until November 2nd in the UK and Europe, and November 1st in the US and Canada. After slaying monsters across the continents, let's dive underground for something tighter, retro, and ridiculously fun. The Mummy Demastered is an old-school Metroidvania that's way better than it has any right to be. It takes the long-forgotten movie license and turns it into a tight, stylish side-scrolling shooter with a killer soundtrack. You'll explore eerie ruins, blast through mummified soldiers, and collect upgrades that steadily open up new areas. It's compact, but rich with atmosphere, and the respawn system is a great addition. When you die, your old agent rises as a zombie carrying all of your gear, and you'll need to hunt them down to recover it. A small mechanic, but one that adds risk and personality to every run. It's short, yes, but not slight. Every room feels handcrafted and satisfying. The Mummy Demastered is currently 75% off, setting you back just £4.49 or your regional equivalent. And this sale runs until November 2nd in the UK and Europe, and November 1st in the US and Canada. Alright, that's 5 games down, and if you're still watching, thanks for hanging out. The next 5 go deep. These are smart, heartfelt, and sometimes underappreciated games that might have flown under your radar. From detective dramas to strategy epics, it's about to get interesting. Launching back in with one of the boldest narrative RPGs ever made. Disco Elysium. You wake up in a trashed motel room, hungover with no memory, and a murder to solve. The twist? Every skill in your brain has a voice and opinion, turning dialogue into an argument with yourself. Logic, empathy, and even your physical instincts all weigh in as you try to piece together what happened. It's a detective game built entirely on words, choices, and identity. The writing is extraordinary, sharp, funny, and full of philosophical bite. It's less about action and more about introspection, with stories that shift depending on how you play. It can feel dense at times, yes, but once you sink into its rhythm, it's an experience like no other. It's dark, brilliant, and surprisingly human, the rare game that makes you think long after you've put it down. And it's currently just £10.79, 70% off in all regions. And that sale ends on November 8th in the UK and Europe, and November 1st in the US and Canada. Now enough self-reflection, it's time to chase something a little brighter, so let's rewind to a pair of JRPGs bursting with heart. The Grandia HD collection revives 2 timeless JRPGs that overflow with optimism and charm, and in my mind, the first game is one of the best JRPGs of all time, and the sense of adventure the game creates is unmatched. You follow young heroes setting out to see the world, uncover secrets, and grow into legends. The battle system still feels fresh decades later, and the colourful towns, light humour, and hopeful tone all make them endlessly comforting. Sure, the visuals show their age in places, but the energy, innocence, and sincerity shine through. There's something beautiful about games that just want you to smile and feel that sense of adventure. At £17.99 or your regional equivalent, this may seem a little pricey, but for two fully fledged JRPGs, and in my mind some of the greatest ever made, I can't recommend them enough. They are absolute classics. And this sale ends on November 2nd in the UK and Europe, and November 1st in the US and Canada. Ready for a strategy upgrade? The next game takes that old school adventure spirit and crowns it with tactical brilliance. Unicorn Overlord is a tactical RPG from Vanillaware, the same studio behind 13 Sentinels and Odin Sphere, and it's stunning. You command armies across a lush overworld, liberating towns and reclaiming your kingdom through beautifully drawn, semi-real-time battles. Its presentation is unmatched. Ornate menus, hand-painted character portraits, an orchestral flair that makes every victory feel regal. There's a lot to learn early on, and it can feel a bit slow. But once it clicks, it's ambitious, rich, and endlessly rewarding. For strategy fans, it's one of the best things to hit the Switch in years. Complex, yet inviting. And at 60% off, it's harder to resist. £21.99 or your regional equivalent. This is a great time to pick it up. Even to this day, it is criminally underrated or just not talked about enough. This sale ends on November 2nd in the UK and Europe, and November 1st in the US and Canada.
It's you. Come back to me. Savior of Febrith.
As we move on from leading armies and reclaiming kingdoms, it's time for a smaller story. One mouse, one mission, and a lot of heart. Ghost of a Tale is a stealth adventure game where you play as Tilo, a tiny mouse minstrel trying to escape a medieval prison. It's one of the most visually striking indies on the Switch. Every texture and animation looks like it was crafted for a storybook. Rather than combat, you'll rely on stealth, disguises, and dialogue to navigate the world. It's patient, cozy, and quietly emotional. What makes it special is its tone, brave yet gentle. A story about small courage in a big world. The writing is sincere and the music is soft and reflective. For anyone who loves heartfelt worlds and quiet storytelling, it's an overlooked gem. It's currently 85% off, costing just £3.37 or your country's equivalent, and for 15 hours of fantastic gameplay, that's a cracking deal. This sale ends on November 8th in the UK and Europe, and November 9th in the US and Canada. We've snuck through dungeons and dodged guards. Now it's time to unwind somewhere warm, bright, and full of life. And a game that is not only the cheapest on the list, but one that is heavily unknown and not really talked about, and that is Criminal. Alba, a wild adventure, is a cozy exploration game about community and conservation. You play as Alba, a young girl spending summer on a Mediterranean island, documenting wildlife, cleaning up trash, and helping save endangered animals. It's simple in the best way. No timers, no combat, just curiosity and kindness. The world is vibrant and easy to love. Beaches, forests, and small town charm rendered in soft, sunny colours. The gameplay loop is pure comfort. Explore, photograph, help, repeat. It's the kind of game that quietly restores your faith in humanity while still being fun. It offers about 5 hours of gameplay, but it's perfect for winding down, or for anyone who just wants a gentle reminder that good still exists in the world. Alba is sat at just £2.51 or your regional equivalent, and people have no idea it exists. As I said, Criminal. At 85% off, this is an absolute must-buy. Just skip that next coffee you're going to buy and give it a go. You won't regret it. This sale ends on November 2nd in the UK and Europe, and November 1st in the US and Canada. And that feels like the perfect note to end on. Peaceful, kind, and full of heart. Let's wrap this up. These 10 games are all on sale on the Nintendo eShop, a lineup that shows just how wide and wonderful the Switch's library is. Which one is going on your wish list? Drop it in the comments. I love hearing your picks. If you found something new, a like really helps, and don't forget to subscribe for next week's eShop deals and everything in between. But until then, thanks for watching, stay cozy, I'll see you around.